Welcome to episode 8, the final episode of season 1 of the podcast. I figured I would just do 8 episodes at a time because I'm not sure how many I get out each year. But so tonight I took a necklace that I had with some dog tags on them, and the bracelet I had from the Axe Retreat, and some clips that I got from Amazon, and then across from another necklace that was kind of a leather strap, and put it on this necklace. As you can see on the video version of this, that's going to be on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So, I guess what I wonder about that is like, what do I expect to get out of faith? What do I expect to get out of a lot of that stuff? And I could look into any one of my books and hopefully get the right response from what I feel in terms of where I was at the time. But some of these books were available for free at the time on the ebooks were on Facebook and stuff like that. And I had genuine anxiety about going to AA. I never really liked going there. They kind of put me in a center point role there. It was almost like I was dictating, but also had to be told what to do, and it was a weird situation. But I don't like to drink. I think being a sober man in religion makes a lot of sense, even though a lot of people say Catholics are known to drink. And I drink. I do drink. I just don't do it very, very often. If I get married, will that change? I don't know. Drugs are off the table besides pharmaceutical and over-the-counter drugs. What's really revealing about my church life is I guess like each time I go into the church, there's a new kind of experience, and I become more enticed to go back. And it's not the same old ritual like it kind of was before. Now I'm kind of ushering, and I might become a Eucharistic minister. But I think I definitely bring a lot to the table for that community, whatever I end up doing, if I'm just an usher or whatever. Or if I end up doing home or hospice communion services as a minister. And I don't know how far I'll take it after that, but certainly there are some limits to what I would do. And I definitely want to be married. I definitely want that in my life. I'm talking to somebody right now, and I think it's pretty promising. So, cross my fingers that that works out. I'm really hoping this one works out. And she follows me on a regular basis, so um, like I said, I went to mass in my 20s. Um, uh, but got in trouble, and then I got skirted away from going to mass after that, except for very brief kind of instances, and even tried other churches like the Baptist church and stuff like that, and it just didn't sink in that I really needed where I came from. But I'm lucky to be in a situation, and I don't think those people that I go to the church with really understand how lucky we are, how safe it is to be a Catholic compared to like a Jewish or an Islamic person. And there still is hate from any spectrum, whether they call you the words that are related to Black people or the words that are related to Asian people, or just any kind of derogatory word, or a redneck or something like that. And I don't feel like Catholics ever get that as much, but maybe that'll start happening now that things are getting heated up in the war, or if there is going to be a war, I don't know. But I'm not going to shy away from my religion now that I've recolonized that in my life. It was an immense thing that things during COVID were restricted the way they were, and now we're kind of coming to a close to that. So hopefully, as things start peeling off the onion, as we so to speak, and things start motioning towards a different direction, people understand that life is once in a lifetime, and your actions do matter. So you don't have to do it all right, but you should at least respect others and feel the idea of retribution. Like, say if I didn't get confirmed in the beginning like I did, I probably wouldn't have come back to the church. But if someone felt the need to, if they couldn't get confirmed right away because they couldn't get to all the things they had to do and whatever, and they just didn't feel the need to do it right away, and it was just not in their lifestyle to get it done as a teen, then they can always do it later as an adult. And I think that's a great idea for anybody who's really not really sure about what they want to do with their life. So and that goes for people that are, changing religions and stuff like that. So but I'll go back to the fact that I'm kind of paraphrasing my third book that I put all of my books into a completed series that's out now on Amazon. I gave out a copy to my uncle for his birthday. I talk about two romantic people. One of them didn't work out, but I was really infatuated with the idea that she gave me a lot of help with dealing with people of other kinds of people, people of other types. So I still feel that way, despite the fact that it's not going to work out with her. And it, you know, it technically still could work out with her, but I really don't feel that it will. I think the looking back at my book and where I was when I was typing a lot of this out, I think you find somebody out there, and I had a promise ring, and it wasn't a wedding ring, it was a promise ring. It was like a ring that Christians wear when they're promising themselves for marriage, to marry somebody and saving themselves for marriage. And that's kind of like what I had that ring for. But yeah, I mean, you know, it really makes sense that that I could possibly have a chance at that, despite hard times in life. Or I mean, it's really not so hard now. I mean, I think I've really hit an opening in life to where things are really easy compared to what they used to be, in terms of work, in terms of the rat race, in terms of all this stuff. So I'll tell you, if you work really hard early on in life and you put off a couple things, maybe like kids, because you can always have them later in life. And I still don't know if I'll be able to have them or not, but I hope I can. But if I can't have kids, the rat race will pay off, because at least I will be comfortable the rest of my life. And that's kind of like what I'm looking at right now. So I have a good skill level in a lot of different things. So I'm actually looking at I'm looking at writing my fourth book, and just a little teaser on that, if anyone's interested. I'm opening up, and we'll get a little bit of a teaser on that. I'll read the title of the fourth book. And it's got some original photography, artwork, and computer artwork, pencil drawings. I haven't really done any painting in a while. But I think that's okay. I call it Scaling Up Life: How to Avoid the Pitfalls of a Working Career. So I don't know how much I get into just that title in the summation of the whole book, but I do get into a lot of points of what it's like to be me. And I've done that before, but this is a different kind of viewpoint. There's different kind of artworks. There's different kinds of political theories and talking points. There's things that may be a little more theoretical and not really gonna happen because it's based on my thought process and not what the people want. But I think they're good ideas. So, voter ID, for instance, how do we get voter ID to be widespread? Can we have a voter recognition, like a scanning clearance security system in a couple spots around each city, big city and small city, to drop off your mail vote, and the mail ballot box does not open until you prove your identity. That may make some sense. Still with some kinks you'd have to work out, but you could put a camera there too with someone monitoring that stuff. And then, of course, that person would have to be pretty forthright with what they're doing. Well, we can always investigate that. But I think on the whole, if we get about 3/4 of the country or a little bit more of the country, like 75%, well, 75% of the country or more, or 80% of the country, voter ID in terms of states, then we would have a successful ballot, because I don't think California would ever change. And they're basically kind of like an independent state, independent country at that point. But be on the lookout for stuff like that. I think I heard 23 ballots were 23 ballots were cast. 23 states have voter ID. And I frankly don't think that's good enough, considering what we have 50 or 51 states. So that's just not really good enough. It's not nearly good enough. That's way too much room for wiggle room for an already kind of equidistant, halfway close election, and then they can just get enough votes to make it possible for them to win the election. So this can't happen. I will, of course, will still vote in the election, but I swear to God, Biden's going to win again. And then I don't think he'll die. I think he'll be fine, but he'll be, I think, tough decisions. What can you possibly do that you haven't already negotiated out of your lifestyle? You know, I mean, what else could you possibly do? So, think about that. If you want a revolution of sorts, if you want a constitutional amendment to the Constitution, not just that, but term limits. We need new guys in the Congress, not just the old-fashioned way through elections because incumbents tend to always win, but we need people that are really willing to go in there, do their job, and then sit down and run a business and learn from being in Congress, and then run the business and sit down and let someone else go in there and learn from Congress and then run a business or a law firm or something like that, and then run for another position that's a little bit higher up, because that's the best way to groom these people. We don't need people to constantly sit in Congress collecting a paycheck and a beautiful healthcare policy that no one else gets, like steak dinners and lobster dinners and lobster bisque and all this stuff, and plenty of alcohol and all this stuff, and hanging out with young interns and stuff. That's ridiculous. So we need people that are willing to fight for our rights, and we don't need to grandfather in the people that are currently in either. We need to start the term limits now. I think like for the same term limit for the president, 4 years and 4 years for 2 terms, and then 2 terms, 6 years and 6 years for Senate, and then maybe make Congress 4 years, 4 years, and 4 years, so they have 12, and make it like, they instead of 2, they get a little bit of security of being in there a little bit longer. I don't know. It seems a little bit better, but how do we design a single policy that'll work for everybody? There is no policy, but currently things are not working, and we have to kick the ball around to legislate correctly what is best for this country, not what's best for the elites. And I might be considered elite in some circumstances, but in a lot of ways, I've earned this. I've earned the right to be where I'm at. I was given some God-given talents, and I put them to work. And my dad gave me almost everything. So God bless him. God bless my mother and my grandparents. Without them, I would be nobody. And otherwise, I don't really have much to sit on right now. No wife, no kids. But that's probably a good end to season 1. Maybe in season 2, I will have had a coffee date with some girl or something like that. But things on Radney are getting strange, and I'm going to be doing the Murph Challenge on Memorial Day with a 20-pound vest, but I'm not sure how long I can carry that for all these different exercises and stuff. So please pray for me, and God bless everybody. Thanks.